So in recent years, many companies have realised that the importance of their supply chains and put in place either programs of work or new processes to gain assurance over those suppliers. Typically, the investment that's been made in those areas has been around sort of checklists, assurance templates, and in some regards for critical suppliers going into service assurance reports, it's just SOC 1, 2, 3 reporting. Now that often creates a challenge for lots of organisations, is it actually adding value? There are a number of dimensions that organisations need to consider with regards to supply chain. Often the focus, for obvious reasons, has been information and cybersecurity, but there are a number of other elements that companies need to consider, such as financial health, ultimate beneficial ownership, whether those organisations or the individuals at those organisations sit on sanctions lists, or they're meeting some compliance and regulatory reasons. Now, some of the challenges that exist for companies is that data, that information, that reporting is currently silo. And we're seeing a shift to try and bring that data together so that an organisation has a real aggregate view of risk within their supply chain partners. And so we see that as being a key component part, because actually if you're focusing on one thing and one thing only, it detracts from where some of the real risks may be. So one of the practical ways of bringing that together is first starting with, how do you deal with disparate, different ways of getting assurance? There are a plethora of tools, capabilities, third-party vendors that will sell you solutions. But the important part for you as an organisation is to understand, what do you do around financial due diligence? What do you do around security due diligence? And all the other areas that go alongside it, to catalog what is the direction you want to try and head to, and how can some of those solutions and capabilities address your needs? One of the challenges for companies at present around the silo reporting is that they don't really have a clear view on the risk position. So, for example, a security team may be doing work around assuring security and cyber controls, but at the same time, nobody's considered that the financial health of that same supplier, which might be a material supplier, has been deteriorating over a 3 or 4 year period. And does that have a knock-on impact on whether security controls are being appropriately invested in? Equally, have changes within the organisation been adequately considered? Senior moves, whether those senior moves have led to any degradation in the controls and the environment that they operate within. So we see the future of third-party assurance reporting really being centred around data, real-time assurance, gaining visibility closer to an event rather than 12 months after. A lot of the reporting that currently exists is very much in that frame. So one of the challenges that organisations have today, which is planning for the future, is the manual nature of third-party assurance reporting. So trying to take away lots of manual effort, lots of disparate teams doing their own little bit of work, and trying to bring that in a single view. So the starting point for that is actually data. And it's using the information that you do have today and trying to present that in a more consistent, coherent, aligned way. That is the starting point for the future. The future is effectively a data-led approach to assurance, where you're shifting from static one-time reporting annually to something that's more point in time, something that is more real-time, reflective of the organisation's control environment, but only for those critical suppliers that you do have.